So let's talk about Queen Huda. Love Island's crash out queen extraordinaire. I don't just want to be seen as a crash out. And I'm a Vedic astrologer, so I'm going to analyze her chart and see exactly what's going on because, baby girl, you were divinely assigned the role of a crash out. Like, you auditioned for this lifetime. She was born a beautiful disaster, and we love her for it, and it will happen again. So looking at her chart, she's an Ardra ascendant and a Maga sun. So that Ardra ascendant makes her a chaos princess. Like, she's an emotional shapeshifter. She's crying in the club. She's making it look high fashion, but she is definitely crying in the club. And that Maga sun gives her royal energy. And it's also very much like reality show diva coded. She's constantly performing her worth, her value, and she's terrified of losing control. She wants to be worshipped, but she feels like she has to earn that through pain. And then when you look at her combust moon, conjunct Mercury and Purva Falguni, now you're combining the emotions of the moon with the Mercury kind of speech, the mind, and they're both burnt by the sun because they're way too close to it. And so that creates like this diva breakdown, emotional dysregulation, all of those like I'm chill texts followed by like 19 immediately unsent messages and then a voice note that's somehow captioned like, I just needed to say this. This is I'm not a crash out while actively crashing out. And then she has an Auslatia Mars, which is very much like that's the snake. It gives revenge fantasies. It gives erotic rage, being very strategic, but also always going through something. Like, she's not intending to blow shit up, but once shit hits the fan, like, oh, she's going to end it. And then with her Rohini Jupiter conjunct Psyche, that's like emotional intelligence, right? So like she knows what she's doing. Like, she's feeling everything about 30 seconds too late. And so she's going to explain all of that on TikTok Live later through tears, tell us that, you know, she's more than just a mess. And that's true. She is more than just a mess, but she's also a mess. But the crash out signature in her chart is her Shravana Neptune conjunct retrograde Juno and retrograde Eros. Because now you're combining Juno, which is all about marriage, with Eros, which is about obsession and attraction, and Neptune, which is literally delusion. And they're all conjunct in Shravana, which is very much like a martyr. And so now you get like a delusional romantic projection, this like long-term karmic contract. It's sexual identity wrapped up in sadness and delusion. And she's always going to go back to love, even when it's empty and even when it hurts like a bitch. The most heartbreaking part of her chart is her Jyeshta Chiron, which Jyeshta is the eldest daughter. So it's an eldest daughter wound, this feeling of always being passed over, that feeling of always having to have been strong. Nobody ever protected them. And so the BPD eyes moment were essentially her eyes screaming help behind like a veneer of trying to look controlled. Like, you were watching her soul walk off the soundstage mid-breakdown. Like, this is from that Purva Falguni combust moon conjunct Mercury that we talked about. That's that crying in, like, lingerie holding a wine glass type of breakdown. Because now you're having, like, your moon and your Mercury combust that Maga sun. And so she's dissociating with full confidence, loudly, publicly, iconically. And it's sad because she has an Antara Falguni Venus conjunct Ceres. So, like, she wants a love that feeds her and she would give anything to people, really. But instead, she ends up mothering men who just breadcrumb the fuck out of her. And then she has a Punarvasu Rahu conjunct her true Lilith. So that's like deeply spiritual, very much unhealed, very misunderstood energy. She really doesn't mean to crash out. She doesn't mean to spiral. She just wants somebody to hold her. I mean, ultimately, this is a chart of somebody with main character energy and deeply unstable side quest management. Like, she's crashing out elegantly, loudly. She's spiritually self-aware, but she's not healed enough to regulate her emotions. She's sexy, she's intuitive, she's chaotic, she's very lovable. Everything about this chart says she's lovable, and she's absolutely not okay. Like, I mean, you can't give a woman a chart like this and expect her to play it cool. Like, she was made for reality TV. This is the made for reality TV chart of all time. Like, born to love, born to lose, born to spiral, born to crash out, and she will live stream it. And we are going to watch every second of it because she's iconic. Follow for more.